A decent crowd here. What I have been doing as a primary business has been helping patients get medical marijuana permits. On a national basis, we've gone into markets where no other doctors have offered patients the ability to obtain a medical marijuana permit. So we've had the honor and blessing to be able to help about 150,000 patients all the way from Michigan to out in Hawaii. When we opened here in Colorado back in April of 2005 out in Wheat Ridge, there were 700 Colorado patients. And in our first 2 days in business, we increased that by 15%. Up until 2008, we were pretty much the only business advertising in the Westward and here. But with the Obama administration backing off on medical marijuana policy, we've seen some huge strides, and it's amazing to see how much it's boomed here in this state and in other states. In our business, though, we get to see the differences in the various laws and the application of them, and you really need to have a view toward the political process. If you're going to be an entrepreneur in marijuana, you have to look into working with your local municipal government, your local county government, and your state government. I think this year in particular, we're going to see all the major medical marijuana states closely re-examine their medical marijuana law. Even here in Colorado, though there have been a number of changes that were implemented this past summer that have changed the market to some degree, we're going to see a lot more changes. There's a hearing just here in the past 2 weeks where the health department's looking at new regulations to implement and control the market here. So we see that nationwide. In Washington, D.C., they're looking at opening the medical marijuana market up sometime in the near future from the 1998 vote where it passed, and the federal Congress prohibited that vote from being counted in the Barr Amendment. And the Obama administration reversed that Democratic leadership here in the last year. The program they're implementing, though, requires that doctors be full service doctors, that they not just allow specialize in medical marijuana. And the health department here in Colorado is looking at implementing a law just like that. I can tell you that if we require the doctors to take care of patients on a larger basis, to take all of their medical care needs and be the primary care physician, we'll see a lot less permits being implemented in quick order. Which brings us back to the issue that we have to get involved in the political process if we are going to be successful. But one thing I think we need to look at as well is that there are going to be a lot more changes in the years to come. In California, they blazed the way with Prop 19 this year, as they had, 38 years ago when they had Prop 19 then, and it kind of broke the ground for marijuana. There was a vote then that led to decriminalization. It failed, but sometimes, like a phoenix, the movement can rise from the ashes of a failure to continue on and create a new enterprise. I think we'll see a major change in the laws on the West Coast and potentially here in Colorado in the next few years. So what you have to concentrate on is the future. If you think you're going to be doing the same job now that you're doing now in a year, 2 years, 5 years, you're probably going to stagnate and you're not going to be successful. You're going to always have to implement change, be on the cutting edge of that change. And so right now we have medical marijuana, but our goal is complete legalization. We've got to look at this whole plant. We've got to plant cannabis that is really the only plant that is able to transform our economy. I really believe the main reason that marijuana is illegal is because of hemp seed oil and the industries that were affected by new technology 70, 80 years ago implemented what we call reefer madness. They said marijuana would cause you to go crazy, kill your family and friends. Well, we know that that isn't true now, but they renamed it. And the main reason I think they did was to stop the development of biodiesel fuels. And so I really look at biodiesel and hemp as being one of the big industries in the future. But when we legalize marijuana, it will be able to return to its natural place in our economy. When it does that, we'll see major changes in the pulp and paper industry, in the textile industry, and in the biggest industry of them all, energy. And so this plant is really the only plant that's capable of decentralizing our economy and returning control locally. And so we have to be on the cutting edge of that political process. And I just want to urge all of you to work for global cannabis freedom. You know, there are a lot of people in prison today. And one of the biggest drawbacks in entering our industry is the fact that, you know, you get arrested, you go to jail. So it's kind of scary sometimes to be growing marijuana and supplying it to patients. But the future of this is that we've got to change those laws. There's a crucial part of the Federal Controlled Substances Act that helps state law, and it's rarely considered. And if you take anything away from my talk, I would say, look at the Controlled Substances Act, which is Title 21 of the Federal Code. It's 21 U.S.C. and Section 903. And that was the basis of the California ruling that basically said that the counties could issue permits. And the Supreme Court denied review. There were several counties in California that were suing the state, saying that this violated federal law, and so they couldn't issue these county permits for medical marijuana. The state appellate court in California and the state Supreme Court ruled that the federal law basically says that state regulation supersedes federal regulation. So when you look at it, the federal law, look at 21 U.S.C. Section 903, and we'll see that state law